Go.
All right, here we are one more time for a TAR podcast. Now we're at number 21, working up the ladder. Last night we had Mr. Johnny Archer with us. Tonight we have Mr. Johnny Archer and Mr. Shane Van Boening, along with Justin. And this is brought to you
OBQs, our presenting sponsor for basically the whole month of May, as well as Kamui Tips and Chalk, Simonis Cloth, and Q Sports International, home of this guy.
Home of this guy. So this is going to be an interesting one. We got two superstars here.
Yeah, no shit.
And Justin.
Well,
and me.
we got to talk to him all night last night. Where you been?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yes, Shane, what have you been doing?
I had to take a little vacation.
Oh, you did? A little time off?
Yeah.
So what'd you do in L.A.?
I just went over and meet a friend over there and hang out. And
Go to the beach? Go to Venice Beach
I
and
tried
pump some
to,
iron?
it just didn't have enough time. But
I mean, I see where you're doing 60 push-ups with your feet up in the air, like trying to do some macho
Yeah, well,
man.
what's the
What
story
hell?
there?
actually,
with
I was
Alfred.
doing my laundry at Jay's house, and then me, Dennis, and Jay started playing basketball out in the driveway, and I just kind of want to get in a little sweat going. So,
Okay. Well, I heard Jay does a lot of dirty laundry. Now I know it's a fact.
No, he does it, he airs it.
There
No,
you
no.
go, see?
So what's this? You didn't want to play Dennis no 10 ball, huh?
no, I just feel like my break is a little off right now. So
Well, that's got to be
Well,
good for
Oh,
you.
Lord.
See,
I know
boy, is he
Dennis.
pumping
Boy.
you up. He wants
Your
you to
brake's a
relax
little off. Lord, the peon's got a chance. No, he's only said a little off.
Yeah.
We still way behind.
And just for the audience's sake, just because these guys are sitting next to each other and chit-chatting, we've made our policy really very clear. No business. There's no business. Somebody's walking away with 1,000. Somebody's walking away with 4,000. Period.
Absolutely.
And just that, you can be friends and have respect for your opponent and still try to kick their ass.
Bell rings, always something changes.
So just wanted to keep everybody on the up and up on that.
Sure.
Because we're all looking forward to this match. I mean, this
Sure.
one's been, like we said last night, this
Oh,
has
for
been 5
years.
years in the making.
Yeah.
For years.
know, And, of course, the winner gets that Filipino no-name Bustamante that, is over the hill and ready to retire and ready to eat somebody
Yeah,
for
right.
lunch.
I heard a story from somebody at the
He's
10
tough.
ball
Yeah.
this year
Absolutely.
that they asked you who you thought the best 10 ball player in the world was. And you said, me.
Right.
And then Bustamante. Is that true?
Yeah, I like Bustamante's game, and he's playing well, and he's very fearless, and
He's such a momentum player. We saw that.
Yes.
I
Yeah.
mentioned that the other
Sure.
night when you were here. He was shooting like a 950 AccuStats
Sure.
for half of the third day when you guys played. He was on fire.
unbelievable.
We couldn't believe it. Because you got to practice on this table.
Yeah.
That's a
I
tough
tried to
little table.
practice.
People don't understand what that taking 3/8 of an inch out of a pocket.
Sure it
it
is.
Changes things.
I
Changes
mean,
the break.
Changes everything. Changes the
So-
way you have to play.
Oh, absolutely. So
I mean,
this is pretty exciting. I mean, we're looking forward to it a lot, and hope everybody else is. It starts tomorrow at 4 o'clock Pacific time. That's 7 o'clock Eastern. You guys are going to play reasonably fast. I'm going to guess 5.5-hour match. I mean, you'll both be gentlemen, so we won't have too many timeouts.
no,
Or we send you to your corner or anything like
that's
that.
right. On time I get time out, if I have to go use the little boy's room,
Yeah.
that usually don't take long.
And you will turn the mic off this time.
I hope if you have to remind me. I did do that. yeah, I remember that one. Yeah, that wasn't too. That makes
It's
me
easy to
blush.
forget you got mics on.
Yeah,
Man. Mics
it
are
does.
dangerous.
They're very dangerous.
No telling
Yeah.
what you'll say in a bathroom either. I never knew what you really will say.
But I'm not sure where to go on this. I mean, we kind
Well-
of hashed about a bunch of stuff last night, so we should concentrate on the.
Well, I want to ask Shane. Let's just get right to it. What's your prediction for tomorrow night?
You never predicted last night. You danced. So
Did I?
before you get out of here tonight, you're going to give a prediction.
Okay.
first I want to hear his prediction. I
Why mine?
I didn't hear anything about him talking last night, so
Yeah.
I can tell you what
okay.
he said last night.
He said he's going to beat your ass in 2 and be on the golf course Sunday morning.
That's not quite what he said. He said if I can
Hey, Justin said that. That wasn't really.
if I can break good enough and hang with Shane, or if his breaks off a little bit, it'll be close, and we'll go to the third day.
That's
That
right.
was your prediction, but you never gave a score. I said Shane wins by 3 games. I wins the third day, and it'll be within 3 games for all 3 days.
Well, I
But I
know
really
one
do
thing, I can't get at least a 3-pack. I don't know what the most I've run on this table since I played
7
here.
7 and out with Alex that one
with
time.
Alex.
But after that,
You run 7 on this table right now. Last night, it's like running 15.
it's crazy.
It really
It's
is.
tighter
It's
now
very
than.
Yeah,
Well, I think the over
it's a little tough playing on this table, so I mean,
difficult.
me and
Good. We're. I mean, that's the way it should be. We're the best in the world.
yeah.
I mean,
Well-
I'm not trying to say conceited, but we
Yeah.
are the best players.
But there's a lot of debate on
I
that.
mean, I'm saying
No,
saying
and a lot of
everybody.
People, and a lot of people like bigger pockets, so they get to see a 6 or an 8-pack. You know, there's a lot.
No,
there's
no.
2 different theories here. You know?
No, that's right. That's right. I think on a table like this, every aspect of the game comes out. Kicking, safety
Oh, yeah,
means
yeah.
you know, now all of a sudden you don't have to freeze a guy on
Sure.
the ball to come out with
Yeah.
a good safety.
Because this is not a
you
tournament.
might leave him long.
This,
you know.
this is a challenge series. It doesn't have to
Absolutely.
be tournament quality equipment.
That's right.
It should be
No.
tougher.
I agree.
You know,
Yeah, you couldn't
Well, if
play.
it was up to me, this would be a 10-footer, and we just see what happened.
You and Celtic, and Greg Sullivan. What's with 10-footers?
I think 10-footers for this type of thing would be cool.
You know, I don't know
I
because
think-
nobody has a chance to practice on them. That's
Even
the only
better.
fear I have. I see it.
I hadn't played on 10-foot in 20 years. I'd love it.
Yeah.
I would like
What
to
about you?
try it.
You're the last guy to play
I
a real
think
match on a 10-footer.
It'll take away the Filipinos, I know that.
That's what, why? Because they can't reach anything. They're
Well,
so short. What is that?
They
Here-
always
here's
using
what's gonna
extensions
happen.
and bridges and left-handed and all that.
Here's what's gonna happen. You get a 10-foot table going on, and then the next thing, the rule's gonna change where you don't have to put your feet on the ground.
Who
Just put
knows?
a
God
smallest-
knows.
But
I hope that
remember,
don't
that
happen.
won't be
I
a
don't think
tournament
so.
play. This will be strictly challenge match. Anybody that thinks there's going to be 10-foot tournaments,
They're
other
nuts.
than
No,
2 or 4 tables out of their minds.
That would have to.
Yeah.
If that does ever happen, that's years down the
Now,
road.
I
It would
heard
have to be
Diamond
built.
made 4 10-footers.
Yeah.
Are they going to make any more?
This is strictly an experiment. My prediction?
Yeah. Okay.
That's just me, Mark Griffin, predicting. I haven't talked to Chad or Greg about it at all.
Just depends on if it
It's-
gets picked up. You know,
Are
if
you
everybody
gonna get
picks
one?
up loves it.
One's supposed to come out here to us after the Tunica.
There you go.
That'd be awesome. No lie. That.
Yeah.
Well,
Six
I mean,
they got 6 legs.
well, bonus balls supposed to play on 10-foot.
Really?
You're
shit.
going to, first I heard of that.
Yeah, me too. Who the hell's going to make the tables? Brunswick?
Don't know.
Yeah.
Don't know yet.
I don't know.
I'm not into the
First I
to
heard
the
of it.
money
But
part.
Either way, I mean, there's advantages and disadvantages to everything.
Yes.
My personal opinion is I'd like to see a pro series on 7-footers.
Yeah.
Because you now instead of 10 people that can compete, you got 500 that could compete.
Right.
It
Well,
just
the other
builds the
thing-
ranks,
and-
builds the competition up.
And the guys who play in the bars every week, all these
Yeah.
hundreds of thousands of league players, now you're
It's
playing
relevant.
in their world.
It's
so
relevant.
they can that may be one of the reasons. Maybe that's how you explain to them how much better the top guys are than even like their local shortstops. You know.
But not alternating break. That's where you play winter break. And
Well, see,
I
I've
mean, I
seen
might
this
have you
kid.
down 8-2, and you run the set.
Yeah, I've seen this kid on
Right.
the valley.
Absolutely.
What's the most 8-ball racks you've ran?
I believe it was like 10.
I mean,
A few years
you
ago,
can-
Dan Louie ran like it was like 18 because
Ultimately.
he finished out this set and it was,
Yeah.
but it was kind of like an alternating break. But every time he broke, he broke and ran. It was a kind of in a tournament scenario. It was off the charts. This is only like a year or two ago. But Dan Louie, he's got a real high gear.
Sure he does.
He's a little slow, but he's very.
Dan
accurate.
Louie is Dan Louie.
He's a
I'll never
world
forget.
champion. Oh,
I'll
he's-
never forget. First time I ever seen Dan Louie, I watched him play Mike Siegel in a tournament in Atlanta. It was a tour tournament back then. It's the late '80s. I was a teenager.
Yeah.
So I'm watching. I'm like, who is this little guy here?
And he
He's got
strokes
glasses.
forever.
He's
Yeah, I'll be
he
old.
kind of looks different, you know, as a Siegel and all them guys, and he just robbed Siegel. And I'm like, and I'm going to talk to. I knew Nick back then. I was talking to Warner, and I said, man, who is that? He says, let me just tell you, the guy that Siegel just played is a player. He's a real player.
He's a real player.
He said, just don't forget that. And I'm like, never,
And
I
he
never
looks
questioned it ever again. It
just
was
like he did 20 years ago.
unbelievable. He hadn't aged.
Yeah.
I don't
I met
know
him
what
in
he's done.
1964, University of Washington. I went to school one semester in
did you
University.
teach there in '64?
You're real funny. No, I finished building the school. I was just
You was the guy.
superintendent.
You was the one that they all look for.
Jeez, listen to this guy.
So as you met him in '64, what happened?
I didn't
You went
play
on a
him.
hunting trip and wrestled a polar bear?
Yeah,
What do you
right.
do in Alaska?
No,
Or
I did-
Washington?
A lot of Alaskans would go down to Seattle U and University of Washington and Gonzaga because they had a thing called WICHE, Western Interstate College of Higher Education or something. Because Alaska doesn't have any universities back
Infrastructure,
then or something,
yeah.
so they, for law school, so they had a trade-out program. They'd waive the out-of-state tuitions between 7
Trade
western
college
states.
for
Yeah.
like beaver fur and shit like that?
Right, that's what we did. Yeah. Polar bear hide got you 2 years, yeah.
So what about you, man? What you got going on? Let's ask you about this Bustamante thing, because we haven't really talked a lot about TAR 27. To me, that's a big deal. Is
And
the
that's
fact
next
that,
weekend.
Yeah, that it's a done deal that the winner of this plays Francisco next week, and they're going to be our Pinball TAR champion, and then everybody else is going to shoot at them.
That's right.
So, what do you think about? Do you like that? Do you like the idea of knowing who you're going to play next if you win?
Yeah, I mean, it's always like that. You're gonna have action, you know, soon. You don't have to wait a month or two. It's just right away, and
Well, it's a fluke that it's right away. It won't normally be the
No.
next week.
Ideally, it'll be
It kinda-
3 to 4 weeks apart.
Kind of came
Pretty
together
Pretty
good.
Well, they're
It's one
easier,
time, yeah.
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 I think a lot of people like to know what's going on and a lot of action going on. And
Yeah. Well, Dennis Orcullo wants to do something the week before Tunica.
That's
So-
mid-July.
Yeah.
I believe I'll be in Indonesia.
Tell him what you're
What's
going to be
going
doing in Indonesia.
Yeah. Are you over there
Tell 'em.
seeing a friend again?
No. Tell him. It's
Well,
worse.
last year I got in the Guinness World Series finals against the Taiwanese. I got second, and this year they're gonna have a speed pool.
Speed pool. Are you kidding me? Oh, man.
What? Say it again now, one more time. They're going to have what?
Speed pool.
Speed pool.
You know,
And I know you've been practicing.
no, I hadn't even started the game yet.
You hadn't?
No.
And
I don't
is this
really
on
know much
sevens or
about it.
nines?
Do you know who could beat you at speed pool right now? I've watched him play it. He's very good.
Thorsten was pretty good, I think. One of them.
Alex Pagulayan.
Oh, yeah.
Sure.
Well,
Alex
Alex
is
is good
speed
at
pool?
everything.
You know why? Because
He's
there's
fast.
tricky ways to get by the corners when you're going around them. If you're running around, there's
Yeah.
tricky ways to get by, and be over there and like cut down a second or two here and there.
Huh.
I've watched him do it.
Well, he's like a little rabbit.
He's
anyway.
yeah, he's a
It's-
rabbit
it's
anyway.
crazy.
You know.
But
he's fast
I'm
anyway.
curious, are they playing speed pool on 9-foot tables?
Yeah.
See, that's going to change the whole dynamics because people are going to miss balls. The only time I've ever seen it is on valley tables, and they're too easy. You know, you just plunk, 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 you know.
Speed pool.
It's
Well, the only
different.
reason why I'm going because you're going to be on ESPN over there.
Well, it's different. I mean, it's a new
National
game.
television.
It's you know, try it out. I mean, people are trying to see what it looks like. Entertainment value. I mean, it's different.
Yeah.
It's
Well
different.
played, Johnny. Well played.
It's different.
That's different.
Now, I don't see you
Is this
playing. I just don't know if I see you playing speed pool. That's you
Johnny,
know.
you're from Georgia. Is that where you say "bless your heart"?
Good luck, Shane.
Bless your heart.
You'll be just fine. I'm sure you'll hold your own.
No,
You'll
I'm,
figure out a
I'm,
way
I'm
to
giving
hold your
Shane
own.
a lot of shit, but tell him what first place pays.
50,000 for this.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I would learn speed pool really fast if I was you. I'd sure be home playing it right now.
Well, that's why I'm going. So
Hey, you'll figure it out, man. You got a brain for this game, so you'll figure it out. You'll figure out how to adapt.
Isn't that interesting?
Adaptation.
Oh, well.
Does anybody have any questions for these two gentlemen in the
Well,
chat?
There were some
We'll
pretty
look
good
through there and
questions in
find some
yesterday's
stuff.
for him that they were aimed at both players. But
I can look
Yeah,
that
Shane
up.
had a lot of questions from
There was a
yesterday, I
couple of
believe.
them, you know.
See if I can dig that up.
I think one of them was, where do you think you'll be in 20 years? And do you think you can have the standing that you've been around for 20 years. You've been like the top American player for
Don't
20
remind
years.
me, Mark. Please don't
No.
remind me how long I've been around. A lot of gray hair. No, I'm just kidding.
You're still a young man, though, Johnny. I mean,
What are you, 40?
43.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm in dog years.
Yeah. I mean, Mark was riding horses when he was 43.
You bet.
I mean, because that's all there were.
You're telling me you're over 43?
Yeah.
Really?
I forgot what 43 is like.
You forgot.
He got one for these, like. Where
seen
were
a-
you when you were 43?
I seen a movie one time. The guy said,
Alaska?
Oh, yeah.
see, when you turn,
Yeah.
the guy said the doctor told him, said, when you turn 50 or 40, you always get you know, where they flush you out? You know what I'm saying? From the behind time.
Oh,
Oh.
yeah,
You
the colonic cleansing
yeah,
or something?
yeah,
That's, Trudeau.
colonoscopy.
Oh.
And the guy said, you know, you need that, you know, check when you turn 40. And he's like, well, I just turned 40. And he said, you know, you're 50 something. He said, yo, acting like I'm way over here after 40. I'm close.
Yeah.
So you got to have a colonoscopy in about 25 years,
Yeah.
kid.
He's like, I'll worry about that. Here's a question from Mr. Hoppy. Shane, why did you decline to play Dennis Orcolo sets of 10 ball over at Jay's house this week? And is One Pocket your new interest in pool? Or are you just scared of Dennis?
Yeah, I'm scared of Dennis. I'll admit it.
Admit it.
Well, Dennis plays very,
I
you know,
can't blame you.
he plays.
You don't look
really-
human now.
He's on a roll right now. So.
See, and he was that way. That's why he was 3 years ago. And he just
Absolutely.
kind of pooped out or something. Like he played that Yang that was over here, who didn't show really much of anything. He spanked Orkula like 60.
Yang's never lost to him.
30, yeah, 38, 60 to 38 or some crazy thing. Yang had an interesting game. I only got to see him shoot one rack because.
Oh, he was on
who
the
did
he was
play?
on
Who
the
he-
tar table, yeah.
who
that's right.
played him?
Dennis Hatch.
No,
Dennis Hatch.
John Mora played perfect.
Yeah.
John Mora played unbelievable.
John Moore's been playing really well.
But anyhow, this Yang, he like one-stroked every ball. He flicked the ball. He just walked around, plunk, plunk.
His,
No warm-up stroke. No, it was
His stroke has gotten. I grew up. Well, I remember when Yang was 18 or 19. I was playing overseas, and I said, "Man, he's got one of the best fundamentals I've ever seen." And then I watched him play about half a match here, and his stroke is shortened up 4 or 5 inches than what it was.
There's no warm-up.
15 years
Yeah,
ago or
yeah.
20 years ago, when I was like, "Is that the same guy?" I'm looking, and his stroke it's not a stroke
It's
anymore.
like a flick.
It's
Yeah.
he's
Yeah,
it's
it's
like
really-
takes it
but he
real
got
short,
some
then
break.
he goes like
But he
that.
got some good action on the cue ball.
Oh, he's got a
you know,
stroke that's
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, I
I don't know
think-
what, maybe age. You never know. I mean, age will get to you a
No,
little bit. No,
I
That
just
brings
think
up another question from Bud on a Hog. In reference to what Hatch said about his age, which was he was what, 43?
He's about
42?
the same age. as
Hatch is 41. I think he's getting ready to be 42. I think.
And he was saying, you know, he didn't know how many years he had left to play at the top. He said, how many years do you think you have left, Johnny?
Being realistic, I think I probably got it. If I can stay healthy, probably 10. Just being real. I mean, to compete at a high level. I think I can still compete till I'm, as long as I stay healthy, in my
Well-
low to mid 50s.
What do you think will be the thing that takes you out of that? Or will it be you just don't want to do it anymore, or will it be the eyes, or will it be the mental focus just gets?
I think it's-
what goes? What takes a guy out? I guess.
I think it's more of the being able to focus for a long amount of time in one place, like really in the table, and be able to focus without it taking you down mentally, you know, physically, just wearing you down. I notice as I'm getting older, that's what I notice more than anything. I still have the desire. I can still see, you know, at the other end and see the edges of balls, and my stroke's just as good now as it was.
Yeah, eyes
you know,
are not
20 years
replace it
ago.
now. Eyes
Yeah.
are almost out of the. It's
That's
not even
right.
an eye thing anymore.
That's, I mean, my eyes are, you know, now I can't really read up close. You know, I'm getting
No.
older there, but far as still the table, I'm still fine. And that's the one thing that I see myself as I get older. You know, I see that it gets where, you know, it's just harder for me to focus and stay in it for a long amount of time. And I know it just has to do with exercise. And I know it has. I was always exercising, doing something, playing basketball or sports, or always had something extra I was doing. And in the last 4 or 5 years, I've gotten out of it. Just now started back, and the only reason, because of this match here, because I know if I didn't, I'd have no chance. You know, and so you know, I've got to get back into it if I'm going to extend my career as long as possible.
Let me ask you a similar question. How long do you see yourself playing?
How old are you now?
I'm 28.
28. I didn't think he was 28. I thought he was going to go. I guess 20.
I'll probably, well, it depends, you know, I might.
What's your goal? Do you want to play past 40? You want to play past 50? Hell, you want to play past 35?
Well, I love the game, so I probably want to go up to 50 years old.
I don't think a person's game should diminish up to the age of 50.
No, the game does it. You're right.
I mean,
the game
and
does it. You're right.
Other than if you get in a car accident or you get really
Oh.
sick, but as far as all things being equal, you should be able to play at that level. But I think your stamina decreases.
That's the one. That's the
and
one.
And it's the mental focus, the
Yeah.
ability to concentrate, but the ability to stay patient.
That's right.
Because you have to. And I find a lot of people, they play better when they get older because they settle down. They don't go for
Settle
the
down
crazy
more.
shit. They just they bear down. They play the percentages. They get a little smarter.
Nick Varner seemed like a lot of time he got better with age
Yeah.
as he went.
And,
it just
you
seemed
know,
like older
when
he
he's
got, the better he
60,
started.
Yeah.
He's
More consistent.
62 or 3 now, I
He's,
think,
he's a threat at any time.
at
you know.
any time.
But
The run and gun games maybe not now, but
I don't see any problem with either one of you guys getting into your 50s.
right.
Well, I mean, Siegel was playing great in this, but he just quit.
Quit at he was like, what was he, in his early 40s?
Yeah, he
Early
just quit.
40s, I think.
All right, Johnny, here's a question,
Okay.
and I didn't write it. It's kind of funny though. So, will J.A. be spending 5 minutes between shots pinking lint off the table, the floor, and SVB's shirt? That's the question. Would sway me into buying it or not?
If that would help me win, just kidding. No, actually, to be honest with you, in the last probably 4 or 5 years, I've sped up a lot more.
They mentioned that in the straight pool.
I have. I have sped up a lot more.
I saw you playing fast.
Who knows? Maybe it's just because I'm, more lazier. I'm ready to shoot, hurry instead of waiting around. I get tired too quick. But
Well, I got you here. What is it with moving the balls from pocket to pocket? How'd
it's
that start?
psychological.
Yeah.
It's really nothing that bothers me. Is that if it's in there and I see a glare from the light, I had just like when it looks like I'm not picking anything off the table, there is actually something there. It just may not be seen.
But that's a drop pocket table. These are goalie tables. So
Oh yeah, I
drop
never. Yeah, any
You're
drop
talking
pocket.
in a drop
No,
pocket table.
but that's why I asked the
Glare
question.
for
is
if I'm over
what-
the
what-
if
where's
I go
that
over the
from?
pot, you'll notice
Yeah.
I'm moving from where I'm at.
Sure, right. Yeah.
Or if I know I'm gonna hit a ball hard, I've
sure
had so
it'll
many times
pop
in my
out,
life
pop
it's
out.
popped out. It's much easier for a couple balls in. I don't like it. It just gives me a little chance, 3 or 4 seconds to kind of
Okay.
relax a little
See,
more.
but that's
Maybe
the
I'm
other
more
thing.
nervous.
As you get older, you want to conserve your energy, and you don't do those things.
Right.
Just why you don't walk around the table 3 times to
No.
see if a shot.
Not anymore.
You
No.
pace yourself because you know you'll run out of gas.
Sure.
And so
That's
that
right.
comes with that analyzing the game and being a little older,
That's
a little
right.
smarter.
But to let you know you can buy it, you're safe. I won't be 3-minute shots to let you know it's okay to buy.
What do you guys think the longest pack will be?
If a guy runs 5 here, that's going to be very good. I practiced
I'll tell you
last
what,
night.
I don't know about too much, but I'll bet you $20 neither one run 5. Just even money.
I believe it. I'm not.
So,
5 would be.
You're a real gambler there, Mark.
The only reason
okay, I'll
that
bet $25. Yeah, well, we've
Yeah, I
seen
don't-
7 on this, but other than that, I think the highest is 3.
yeah, anybody that runs 3 here, man, you picked up big momentum.
think
You got a big advantage.
When the momentum happens, is not running 3, it's the rolls. You break, you can see the one, you run out, or you break and you play safe.
That's right.
You miss, the guy gets ball in hand, he runs out. He'll win
Momentum.
8
yeah.
out of 10 games. It's a momentum
We've seen
shift.
Sure
that
it
a
is.
lot.
It just switches. And like Deshane and Hatch.
We've seen that a
was
lot where there's big
momentum
yeah,
Big switches.
Yeah, yeah.
And these races are long enough. You see 3 or 4 in one set.
Oh, easy.
I mean, it just
easy.
You know, and it's really unique. You know, in that respect.
I just hope I had the last momentum shift.
Well, that's true.
That's, how it
That's
works.
always
That's what
good.
it's all about.
Here's a question from Fast Lenny. Ask both of you. Shane, who's your toughest opponent?
Toughest opponent? I say Bustamante.
Yeah. Johnny?
I'd have to say the same.
No?
Really.
I really would. I'd have to say the same. Myself.
Well, that works out real
I
well,
take that
doesn't
back.
it?
I take that back. I do have somebody that was my toughest opponent other than him. I mean, he's definitely there.
I'll guess it.
Go ahead.
Buddy Hall.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but that's an ex-player, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, well,
but
right
he
now,
played.
yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
no,
yeah, he-
but
Buddy
Well,
Hall
Buddy
was
Hall
toughest ever, yeah.
I still think he was the best 9-ball player that ever
He was
played.
amazing.
Yeah, I mean, and
Hands
just his
down.
patterns, if nothing
Hands
else.
down.
He played that 2-rail shape. He was always coming into the ball instead of crossing the ball. He could do things that most people just.
What was one of Buddy's quotes? And I'm sure it's been butchered over the years, but one of my favorite things attributed to him was, don't play shape if you already have it. You know what I mean? Like if you can stop a ball, like you see some guys, you
Right,
know,
right.
they'll go 2 rails or they'll spin out of a corner or something like that. And when they can stop it or roll forward an inch and have
Right.
pretty much the same thing,
Yeah, he's
you know. But
Best I've ever seen. Best I've ever played.
yeah.
You know, no offense, but he's
That's
really.
your opinion.
Did you ever get a
Well,
chance?
I'm just myself.
I
That's my
haven't.
opinion.
I haven't.
You
played
never
Buddy
got a
Hall.
chance
Yeah,
to
you
play
never
Buddy
really got a
when
chance.
Buddy was playing.
Yeah.
You never had a chance to play.
I wish I could.
He's one of the only guys I ever seen as the match progressed, and as the match got closer, he actually got better.
Wow.
He's the only one. I mean, Earl, Nick, myself, Siegel. It doesn't matter. Efren, as the match, his game got better, as he got crisper, his position got better, his shot making got better, and his thinking. Well, he always was a great thinker. It didn't matter.
But his game was simplistic.
God,
See,
he
he
just-
didn't do fancy stuff, and the fancy stuff, it'll pop you
Kids
once in a
are
while.
But if he had to do it, he could.
Oh, he could. Yes.
At
Yeah,
any
yeah,
time.
yeah.
Well, his stroke is so powerful, man. When
Well,
he let
was-
it go.
His speed was good, and
Yeah.
he just always played the right angle. He read the table right, and he just
That's
moved.
exactly
He
right.
He maximized. You give him a mess, he'll maximize it.
Sure he would.
And
I
that
tell you
big
what.
pause back at the
Oh,
end.
he's
I used
sweet
love
to watch.
Yeah.
He
Yeah,
was.
he's real sweet.
But I tell you what, he just he has by far, if you watch, he has the best bridge of anybody. When he set his hand
Yeah,
down, it was a
stable.
rock.
Yeah.
It was a big old 50-pound rock
Yeah.
he put down. It's not moving.
Well, and I noticed.
And
like
that's,
when,
I mean, if you watch it,
Well, and-
it was never moved.
and see, I agree with that because when John Morrow was playing Yang, the one shot he messed up, he was stretched out and he had his hand like this,
Right.
and he
Moving.
undershot it.
That's
He
right.
undershot it and hooked himself.
Right.
And then he got lucky on the save. Well, you're supposed to have that bridge down.
You got
there.
to have it
get
at
that
a rock.
palm down there. You can't.
Well, he's got big old mitts too.
Yeah.
Buddy's hand
Yeah, yeah,
was
but you
this
gotta
big.
have those contact points because otherwise something will
That's
move.
right.
You do it enough times, something's going to move.
Absolutely.
It's going to bite you.
Well, I'll tell you a story with Buddy. When I was playing him at the Open one year.
K-Town just posted. He said, "Mark's finishing Johnny's sentences very well."
Hey man, sometimes I need a lot of help. I tell you what, when I played Buddy in the U.S. Open semifinals, I was ahead 7-1 to play Dennis Hatch in the finals. I was beating Buddy 7-1 on the ESPN table, and I had the 9 ball, a little bit tough a shot, and don't know if I'm just kind of showing off, but I was going to shoot it and kind of play safe, draw the ball this way and down on the rail. I mean, kind of nervous. I should just cut it in and go back across, and I learned my lesson after that. But when I shot it, just caught the rail and it hung up and went across to the back rail. The cue ball came down, got straight up and down with it. Well, 9 wasn't this far off. Buddy sat up there and took 2 strokes, cut it in. I never shot again. That was my last shot I got.
That'll teach you.
Beat me 9-7. I said, I'll never make that mistake ever again. Right on ESPN to get to the
Well,
finals.
And does winner break or alternating break?
Winner.
Which format do you prefer? Because that story begs that question.
I've already listened.
You know my thoughts on that. Yeah. Myself, I like alternate break just because it still gives somebody a chance to win. As a viewer, it's probably better winner for winner break.
Do we have to go back and argue about that again?
What do you like?
I'm just used to when
What do you
I was
like?
his age, you couldn't get me to budge off winter break.
Yeah.
That
that
was
what you
my.
like,
But
Shane?
now as I
Well-
got older, I want a chance to play.
Well, let me
like everybody.
ask you this: what format did you play back in your?
Absolutely winter break.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna. I'm not.
So why do you have to call it alternate bit?
Shane's like, so why are you trying to screw mine up?
No, I'm not. Believe me.
You got yours, I
No,
got
the
mine.
reason I like alternate break is, well, it's easy to figure out how many sports get the ball when they score. Do you know one?
No, there's a lot of
Volleyball.
arguments.
Okay.
Yeah,
well,
but
Ping pong.
no sport.
no, ping pong
Sports.
doesn't.
Ping
series
pong's
of
in the
5 now.
Olympics.
Well, I'm trying to. I know. No, you're right. You're. I mean, I'm sure there's a couple. I'm just
Yeah.
looking at basketball, tennis.
Sure.
Football. When they score, they get the ball. So they always have a chance to score back if somebody scores on them.
Oh.
And that's kind of my view on that for somebody.
Well, I think short races, like you go race to 5, something like that, absolutely, I agree, 100%. Alternate break makes sense. I think you stretch it out 9, 11, something like that. For me, it's all about what people like to watch. That's all.
People like to see.
and
Oh,
they
sure.
like
people
Raps.
like to
They
see.
like
Sure.
momentum swings.
Sure.
And,
They like
and
to
the
see
coolest
somebody
thing in the
run.
world is to see a guy down 9-2 and be able to fight back. You know, he runs forward, plays safe. You know,
Bartram had you 8 to 6 and hooked or something.
8 to 5.
And you run the set.
Sure.
You
I agree
Yeah.
that as a spectator, I'm sure it's better.
It's way more exciting.
As a player,
Sure,
myself,
you want
I'm
your
just telling you,
opportunities.
as a player, I would like to be able to get the opportunity.
you're gonna get your
if a
chances.
guy, I know I'm gonna get some kind of. I still may not make a ball and him outbreak me. Next thing you know,
Sure.
I'm down 5-0. But at least I got some kind of opportunity, and a lot of time that dictates how the table is.
Right.
If the table's tight enough and breaking hard enough, you can play winner break.
Or you could stop perfectly and the cue ball gets kicked in the side.
Absolutely.
And now he runs out. Now he breaks and run out, and you break. Now you're 2 games down.
Sure.
And you may not be able to catch
never
those
get
up.
back. Yeah.
It's really a unique.
No.
There's
I
a
know.
lot of arguments both ways.
There's all kind of, and I understand there's definitely opinions
Yeah.
from
I,
everybody. I'm just giving you my opinion how as I'm getting older, I want to chance.
Yeah.
Well, I tell you, just like last year, I went my whole career, my whole life, and I got skunked twice. In 25 years, I got skunked. Ernesto Dominguez beat me in L.A. 11-0 one time, and I lost to David Matlock on a bar table 7-0. Last year, I got blitzed 3 times in 1 year.
Alternating breaks or
Winter break,
breaks?
all
Yeah.
winter break.
You mentioned
Well,
a great name.
So
there.
I mean, I'm just saying, as me, that's
Sure.
And
I
that's
understand.
the other
Makes
half
sense.
of the argument is the equipment today
the equipment.
it's
Way
it's-
too
it's
easy.
subject to
Like
momentum.
here you could play winter break.
yeah.
Sure.
You're going to get your
But
shots.
you get on a 5
here
and
you
a
can
quarter
do it,
inch
yeah.
pocket with
Yeah.
new balls, Simonas and everything. Hey, I'm subject to run out on you.
Well, it's when
No, you're not.
when the balls are going on the break easy too. It's when the balls are going on the
Well,
break
everything.
easy.
No,
That's
it's-
that
the
changes
equipment.
the whole game. When
The equipment.
everybody's making balls, you have to change it to
Totally
alternate
agree.
break.
Let me ask you about the name you just mentioned, David Matlock.
Sure.
A lot of people have heard.
The monster.
Yeah, I've heard about David Matlock, and that he was a bar table monster. I mean, you've played him, you've been around. You know, what's your opinion of
I've
David's
only
game?
only seen David was a great big table player. People don't know.
Snooker too, also.
Three
Short
cushion
rack
billiards.
I've seen him play
Three
three
cushion
He's-
billiards. He was unbelievable at.
He's
He
a-
could beat the top. He was top 2 or 3 Americans that I knew of.
He's point
three
eight player.
cushion. He's definitely wasn't just people just say, oh, he can play on a bar table. That's not true. But David Matlock was one of the best bar table players with a big ball.
Yeah.
Ever.
With a big ball.
Did you ever play David down? Did you ever play him down here in Kansas City? At,
We
or Olathe, I mean?
we never match up.
No, we never got together.
Well, when the IPT, he's the furthest, that one tournament in at the Venetian or wherever, the one in Vegas, he was the highest finishing American.
I remember that.
Yes, he
That's
came
right.
in like 4th or 5th or 6th. And here's a
Did
guy
he?
that was basically written off as a has-been. He's like
Yeah.
50 years old. He's not really in action all the time. But
Well, I was watching him. He was
the
playing
guy
well.
is, I mean.
As far as
you know,
playing the game, now what really held him back, and the reason he was known as the better bar table players was his break. He can break on the bar table, but when he got on the big table, his break went way down. And that's just the way it was.
Yeah.
We had a question from the
That
chat
hurt
here.
his chances.
What's your opinion of Chris Melling's game, Shane?
Chris Mellon game.
Yeah.
He got an awesome stroke.
Mm-hmm.
For long shots, he just never missed.
Snooker,
You can't
snooker
hook him.
background.
Absolutely. Pocketing balls.
He got a good game.
Johnny?
If I had to assess his game in a battle back and forth, he still needs work. If you really just fought back and forth, shot for shot, he needs work. As a momentum player, he's a scary player to play against.
He was
Unbelievable.
on a streak there, and he was
Yeah.
taking down everything. But I'd like to see him in a tar match. I really would, because there's. But I
Well,
don't know how
his
much.
best game, the 8-ball. That's what he wanted to play.
His best game is 8-ball.
Yeah,
Well, your
Yeah, they
best
played a
game's
lot of-
eight-ball, isn't it?
Played a lot of English 8-ball.
not anymore. I mean,
Oh,
Let me
Evolution.
ask you a question. Is it ever possible that Shane and I can play 2 top European players,
Absolutely.
partners?
Love to.
I think that could create some big interest.
Love
on the-
to. What about Melling and Appleton?
But he'd already said he don't want to play partners with me. He's already said that.
What is
And
it
him
with
and
you?
I, and to this day, him and I has never lost a partners match at the Moscone Cup.
You don't want to
this
play
day.
Dennis? You don't want to play partners with Johnny? What's wrong with you, man?
I don't know.
What do you mean you don't know? Are you dancing around the question, as Mark would say?
I'm getting too
Quit dancing.
tired.
You're getting too tired.
you better be
Shane.
rested up for tomorrow, man. You're playing in like 21 hours.
That's right, 21 hours. So you'll sleep about 15 of them, won't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I figured you would.
See if he stop doing them stupid push-ups in the
If-
driveway.
Yeah.
If we could get players that have enough name recognition where, unfortunately, what TAR does is we have to
Sure.
be able to sell it.
Sure, yeah.
I mean, you know.
See if that
but
sells.
If we can get something going, we'd jump. That'd be fun.
I think it would be a good seller. You know, I mean, I know it's more players involved, but I
Yeah.
think the interaction seems like a lot of people enjoyed the interaction at the Moscone.
They do.
You know, with us when we're Scotch doubles and we're talking, people learn a lot more, and you know,
Well, then
It's just-
we'll go one better. You guys bring partners, and you have to bring 5 spectators with signs, and we'll make this whole studio only holds about 16 people, and you can razz the other team. Make some noise, you know. Mini
Well,
Moscone Cup in this room. That'd be kind of,
that's perfect for Shane. Shane, you know, if he just turns his hearing aid off, he can just play. It don't matter where he's at. Man, that's great. That's my partner. Huh? Yes.
All right, guys. While we got
Yeah.
some time, let's get into this. Shane, you got your cue?
Yeah.
Let's
Get your
do
cue
some-
out and
let's do
show
some
us.
aiming stuff again.
Let's
That
go
was pretty
back
interesting
through
last time
how your aiming thing with
Oh,
the
boy.
shaft. Come on.
we'll move these chairs out of the way. Justin's going to move the camera, and we're just going to get the 10-minute instruction to make you a world beater. All you got to do is dial 1-800-pool lessons.
There you go. Perfect.
Anyhow, that's tomorrow night is the start of TAR 26.
We're not done yet. Come
Oh,
on.
I know that.
They're already all making fun of you, Mark. Come
Yeah,
on.
I
now.
know that. That's all right. I'm easy to make fun of.
They said, Justin, tell Shane and Johnny just go home. Everybody knows it's the Mark show. Here. Yep, there. Grab that stuff. Oh, watch out, Mark.
Here. Yeah, I know. I'm stretching on cord.
Here, grab this.
All right. So Shane, if I remember correctly, you aim with the side of the ferrule. So you aim with the stick. That's what you showed last time. And what was
Just
that?
mainly the stick, just the upper part of the stick.
But if you're cutting to one side, you aim with the left side. If you're cutting to the other side, you
Yeah.
aim with the right side.
So,
Go ahead.
all right. So if I'm cutting this ball right here, down the corner. Okay, let's say if you have this shot right here. All I do is aim the inside of the shaft right here, just to the upper part right up here.
Hold it. Let me do that again. Point to your shaft again.
Just the upper part of the cue
Last
right
four
here.
Right there?
the shaft.
Okay.
Just the left side of the shaft,
To where? You aim it to
to the edge of the ball.
the right-hand side.
Yeah, the right edge of the ball, of the object ball. And that's what I'm looking at. That's how I'm aiming. That's exactly what I'm.
What about
I'm looking at the shaft, and then I'm looking at the ball, going back to the shaft, and looking at the
While
ball.
you're over the ball, when you
When
set up
I'm
over the
down on
ball,
the cue
now
right
you're
here.
looking at the shaft right now.
That's what I'm doing. I'm looking at the shaft, and then I'm looking at the ball, like a couple times, and then I shoot.
Okay, now what about English? Do you compensate, or do you have to? do
Now,
some
if I use
adjustments?
English,
And of
say
course,
if
there's
I
different
use-
kinds of English. Spinning the ball, or just, you know, there's a lot of.
if I use inside English on the ball, it's a little different.
Just a little bit.
I'm actually aiming the center of the shaft.
Oh, really? That's interesting.
Center of the shaft on the inside, on the edge of the object ball. Understand?
Hell no.
No, I
For
really
what it's
don't
worth,
understand.
John
that.
Iervolino-
I
Every-
really
every
don't,
shot
I'm not gonna
different.
lie.
John Iervolino, for his thin shots, did exactly what he called it. He used his ferrule, which is what you're talking, the last 2 inches or so of
Right.
the shaft. On the thin cuts down the rail, that's what Iervolino did. And I had a lot of respect for what he did. He did it for 7
So
years.
what I'm looking at, every shot different, every spin, every angle. So I don't have the same aiming system for every shot. So
When
so
you
it's just
change
this-
sticks, does it really, because some sticks they whip, some
Yeah.
sticks are stiff, so you have to get,
Yeah.
you're very sensitive then to the shaft difference.
so
Yeah.
well, I have my Sean cue from 3 years ago before I signed with QTech, and it's a lot different than QTech than Sean. So I had it took me a couple days to figure that out, and so it wasn't really easy. So the center of the shaft on the edge of the ball.
How did you come up with this? Who taught it?
I
Who
just
taught you,
practiced.
or-
I just practiced. I try to figure out what the easiest way to aim for myself. Everybody's different. I don't know how everybody else do it. I don't know how Johnny do it. I just come up with something where it's easy for me to aim.
It's amazing how many aiming systems there are.
Oh, there's
At our tournament,
hundreds of
I
them
had a guy,
that work. That if
this
guys
guy from up in the East Coast, Tom McGonaghy. Do you know him?
know him well. Know him well.
Yeah. Now he's got an interesting aiming system that he was
Okay.
teaching this kid, and I'll tell you what, it works pretty good.
You know, Stevie Moore
Yes, with
is
that,
doing the new
Pro,
Pro 1, I think.
yeah, with the stand shuffle.
And I tell you what, he swears
They swear
by
by
it.
it.
He swears by it. He says that he said he's never been able to see the ball so clearly on what he's, and you see how he's playing. He's played
Yeah,
the
he's playing
finals 3 or
great
4
now.
times. He said he said it's made such a big difference, you know, in my aiming and my confidence.
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 I was waiting
He
for you to
says
say that
now,
word, 'cause
he
once you
said
do
now
it-
I'm actually, instead of kind of trying to feel the shot and kind of aiming out in space, he said now I'm actually aiming at a more precise point. And he said it gives me much, and he said, you know, it's like anything, if it, you know, if you do it and it don't work, you're just going to do something
get
else.
to
But
that
he
level.
actually started working, and he worked with it and stuck with it. And
Yeah. And see, when you say that confidence, that's where I see Dennis Orculo right now. He is so confident. He'll shoot anything because he knows he's going to make it. He's just that.
Dennis Orculo, cue ball comes off the tip better than anybody in the game to this day.
Really? See,
It comes off the tip better. He gets more. I wouldn't say action, you know, that's spin, but he gets more out of the cue ball with less effort than
Interesting.
anybody I know in the game that I see. If you'll look, he just looks like he. That's why he looks like he never exerts energy.
Yeah.
So he can play in long sets. You know, he can play under pressure.
He knows where
because
the
it
ball's
just
going.
well he just
really.
it's like anything. If he's got a shot like this, okay, and he's trying to draw the cue ball to here for position, he does it with less
Less speed.
less speed. He
Less
does it
moving
with less
parts.
speed and gets it back. That's why. Well, it's like anything.
He's not hitting it hard, but he's
if I've
using
got
a
a
lot
draw
of spin.
shot and I'm gonna hit it easy, well, that's easy to draw the ball back right here. But if I've got to draw it back to here, I've got to hit it much harder, so it's much harder for me to control. But he does it with that easy stroke.
Interesting.
That's why he's such a, and
Just a little
Shane's
cleaner.
right, he's such a monster to have to play because he can play with ease. And the only, like I said, the only other one that I've seen do that is Buddy Hall.
Can you show us
Buddy's
how
on.
you aim, Johnny? And tell us a
I
little
actually
bit
just
about-
started aiming at a new, well, it's kind of the same way I've always aimed, but I've tightened it up a little bit the last probably 6 months. And it seems like my aiming on long shots and more consistent got better. I've always come back behind the pocket and look straight from the pocket back to the ball. I always look at the straight line.
Get the contact
And
point.
at the contact point, and then when I come around this way and I'm looking at the object ball, now I just look from the object ball to the contact point. And that's how I do my aiming. I'm always aiming straight from here. I'm looking straight from here to here. It's like I'm never looking at the whole ball.
Yeah,
unless I'm
but-
straight in.
That's really like a
When
ghost
you
ball.
Like a ghost ball, exactly right. It's kind of, but I can, you know, that's why I agree with the ghost ball aspect, even though that ain't really what I'm looking. But it's kind of the same. Now, I'm doing the same thing, but I guess I'm kind of cutting the ball in thirds now. I'm kind of cutting the ball in thirds. So when I get back here, now I can see exactly from the pocket from here. So it's like now I'm looking really at the third over here on this side. So then when I look, it's like, it seems to me pretty easy. You know, I mean, just like this shot on the 7 right here, if I'm cutting it in over here, I can really see from right here, from the ball to the pocket from this side, that third. So when I line up, I'm lining up straight here. And that's why I always step straight into this line. I just step straight into it and everything. I just try to go straight.
Okay, then now wait just a second.
I just try to go straight to straight. And that's
When
just
you're
kind of,
down on the ball,
okay?
when
When
you-
I'm down on the ball,
what are you looking at?
I'm looking mainly right here.
You're looking at your shot.
No, the ball.
You're looking
I'm
at the
not
ball.
looking.
You're not,
I
you're
don't.
not
I don't
using-
never even look at the shaft.
You're not
Well,
even
yeah,
looking
once
at
Never
you
look
get
at the
set,
shaft.
you're-
Once I get set, well, my philosophy on it, once I get over the ball, unless I get up again, all I got to do is hit the cue ball. That's all I ever have to do is hit the cue ball, because that's all you ever hit in a shot. You never hit the object ball. You never hit the rail.
That's because
The
you're
only
getting
thing-
down in the right place. That won't work for an amateur because he's wiggling around making adjustments. But
Well,
you're-
sure. That's why
you're getting- you've done
once I
so
get
many
over the
times,
ball,
yeah.
I can tell if I'm aim correct.
Mm-hmm.
I can tell if I'm down straight over the ball. I've hit them millions of balls.
Well, the
So-
reason why, because you've done the shot so many times.
Sure.
Yeah.
It's all natural for you,
Well,
you know.
but still, you have to still be precise when the pressure gets
Sure.
on. It's still natural, kind of goes out the window once that heat gets on. I ain't gonna lie about that. But if I try to keep it as simple as possible. When I teach, when I show guys, I say, listen, really, the number one thing you have to do is concentrate on the cue ball, because that's all you really ever hit. If you can't hit the cue ball where you want to hit it, meaning your bridge ain't in the correct position, or whatever the case is, if you can't hit the cue ball where you want to, you're not going to hit that where you want.
That's the biggest difference between amateurs and pros. You're hitting it where you want to. We're not hitting it where we think we are.
Exactly.
And,
Well,
and then you get the different result. You miss the ball, your shape's off, and you're always,
well, the one reason why amateurs really don't get much better for a period of time is because they're not focusing enough on the cue ball. They're really looking, okay, well, am I aimed correctly on the three? And once they get over the ball, I got to aim here. Once you get over the ball, it don't make a damn. If you're aimed wrong, you're not going to adjust it correctly. You may do it once in a while, might adjust right,
Yep.
this and that, but it's not going to work. So once you get over the ball, this doesn't matter. The
Now, how do
object
you
ball
com-
doesn't matter anymore.
How do you compensate for inside and outside English?
I just mainly I still it's kind of that kind of a feel to me. You know, I still base everything straight to straight, and if I'm putting spin on the ball,
You just
then I just
compensate by
adjust.
whichever way you do it.
I don't adjust very much. It's just a little bit, unless I'm just massing or, really putting a lot of spin on the ball.
Do either one of you find that you get less skids when you're putting a little inside or outside English?
It's important to use outside English.
That's what
Right.
Mike Siegel said, quarter tip on every shot.
Yeah,
Eliminates
just
skids.
the hair.
Just a tweak, yeah.
Well, one thing I've
It makes a
noticed
bit
over the years, we used to always, when a ball skids, we'd always say first thing, there's chalk on the table, and that's correct. At times when chalk gets on the cue ball, but number one, I notice over the years, one of them nearby always when I have a ball skid on me is when I punch the ball. Not meaning
You didn't
to.
hit the ball right.
I didn't hit the
I'm
cue
gonna
ball
agree.
correctly.
Yeah, you can tell.
Now, I'm not saying that happen every time. Well, you're going to have times where the ball skids and that's just the chalk or whatever happens. But 90% of the times when I have a ball skid, I can always tell I short stroked it too much and I punched the ball and that caused the ball to skid. So,
That's one of the variables.
well,
That's
it's like
always a big
anything.
debate.
If I stroke the ball like this, it ain't never going to skid. I just stroke straight through the ball.
Okay,
So
I got a
it's-
question for each of you
Yeah.
guys. If you were going to tell somebody to do one drill to get better, what would it be? Shane?
I would say
And then show us what you're talking about.
a lot of times if I'm going to practice real hard and get ready for a tournament, I do shots from the rails
And you're known for that.
and just
that's-
just fire them in.
I mean, you're known for that for when it comes to that hard, tough shot.
Because the shot comes up a lot. You don't really need to do any shots right here because it's easy. But I think it's important.
I wouldn't say that too loosely. If an amateur's trying to get better, that shot's not always easy.
Yeah.
So it
Not-
depends on the level of play
Yeah.
where you're trying to
I'm
get
not
better
asking
from.
like what you practice, but if you had an amateur
That's right.
that was like, I don't know, like an APA 5, a guy can run some balls, and he wants to get better, and you were going to give him a drill, and I know you haven't probably done a whole lot of instruction, so maybe, you're a player.
You know,
Maybe that's-
I don't really know.
Well, but
Yeah.
when you say a drill, you're saying a series of shots, not just one particular shot.
Sure.
Like maybe
Yeah.
where you put
Did
the
you
square.
did you ever use drills, Shane, or did you just play?
I just play. I never do drills. I don't. I don't even know what a drill is, really.
Yeah, there you go. I mean, that's an answer. No wrong
Well,
answer.
A lot of people don't
That's a
practice.
good answer.
You know,
Their
I'm right.
practice is
I'm
sessions.
same way. I never did.
People
drills.
get drilled because they read books too much, they read videos too much. What is all this, you know?
Well, I think drills.
No,
give you-
drills are good if you have patience that you can sit there and work and watch yourself progress. Drills are good to work on your fundamentals. No, I have to disagree. Drills are good to work on your fundamentals, but as far as playing the game, drills are not going to help
Actually,
you as far as that goes.
I think
He's right about that.
I do know one drill that I used to do all the time. That if I wanted to draw the ball better for myself, sometimes I was having trouble drawing the ball and executing and making the ball, and I was having trouble doing that. So I just lined up the shot like this,
Is that straight?
straight in the corner to
Absolutely
corner,
straight.
and try to draw it
Right in
right
the corner.
straight back into the corner. And one time I made it out 10 in a row.
Hey, that's pretty decent.
And,
That's
you
hitting
know,
the
I
ball-
was
that's hitting
really
the ball
focusing
where you
real
want
hard.
to.
I was getting my draw shot good, and you know, my stroke was getting
And
better.
the drill that I'll talk about in just a second, well, is exactly what he's doing.
Oh, wow.
It's exactly what
How
he's
sweet is that?
What the
Go ahead,
drill I talk about is exactly what he's doing. It's more of a he's talking about doing a shot that you know, mainly the pros are going to work on.
Yeah.
You know, that's not going to work so much for amateurs. But I always like to get feedback after the shot. If I'm working on anything at home, I always like to shoot and see what happens after. Because I know if I have a shot and I mishit it, I can always tell where the cue ball's supposed to go on an angle.
And where it went.
And I like to watch. This is a very good teaching ball, even though it's a good ball. It's a very good teaching ball because you can always tell what spins on the cue ball. So I'll always hit a shot, and if I feel like I didn't hit it well, I'll watch the cue ball really quick to see which way it's spinning, because 9 times out of 10 I've mishit the cue ball most of the time because usually my alignment's good. You know, usually my alignment, I know where I'm wanting to line up at, and I do that pretty well. I can always tell if I mishit the cue ball. That's usually where I make mistakes. And so I work on, after I hit the ball, what's the cue ball doing?
Do you like the measle ball more than the red circle?
I do.
In the way it plays, not discounting the feedback.
Oh,
aspect.
discount the feedback.
If you had your choice, what would you play with?
I would play
Right
with this
now,
ball
I
right
would play with the measle ball.
Really?
Yes, right now, but I'm a fan of the red circle too. I do
Actually,
like the
They
red
both
circle.
wanted the measle ball. Isn't that interesting? I mean, they preferred both of them wanted the measle
Yeah,
ball.
I like.
No.
I mean,
the red circle. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
I said it backwards.
oh, red circle.
They both of them wanted the red
One
circle.
red circle. I actually, to me, it's all a matter on field getting used to what the cue ball's doing. To me, we should be good enough to where we can. It ain't that much of a difference to where we
Well,
can adapt. I do know what
yeah.
you're talking about. Which one's better? Which one?
I think
it all.
this ball played flatter, but I have a feeling they've just changed them a little bit, and I'm hearing better people liking them.
What drill were you
Which
gonna-
one?
Yeah, they like the measle ball better than the red circle.
They're like.
What drill were you
Everybody's
going to
used to
show
it,
us,
too.
Johnny? Before we
See it?
got into the measle ball
Huh?
thing, what drill were you going to show us?
Well, like I said, what I would always do. I tell you what I do at home. And now I'm not giving anything that I don't do at home when I feel like I need to work on something. I'll just go, and I'll put the cue ball here. I always want to work on my stroke. I'm very big on follow through. You know, making sure your cue goes through at a little bit extra, because if you hit, to me, I always feel you can never hit at the cue ball. You have to hit through it. If you hit at the cue ball, you've got problems.
Yeah.
It's just not going to work in a long haul. So hit through it. So I'll take a cue ball at home, and I'll put a little mark on the table like this, and I'll put a little mark out here about 6-8 inches, which is a little more than probably what an amateur maybe should do. And what I'll do is I'll just put balls right here, and I just sit right here and I stroke them in the hole. So I watch and see where my cue's at, and if it's off, I can tell if it's here, or I'm punching it. So I just try to, so I'm just basically working on rhythm. I'm working on the fundamentals, and I go right back, and usually whenever I do that, it kind of gets me back pretty much.
So the fundamental, when you're having issues, you go back to the fundamentals,
straight
right?
to the fundamentals,
And I agree.
like I'm just
Yeah.
starting over, and I just go straight back and work on it. Because it's like us, we know what we're trying to do. You know, if we don't do it, something broke down
Let me
somewhere.
ask you both.
Something in our stroke, something in, you know, maybe our head come up a little bit or something. It's something to do with a fundamental that where it broke down.
Well, now we got you both here. I mean, let me ask you about the break. Shane, can you tell us about your 10 ball? Maybe break a rack for us and talk us through what you're
Yeah,
looking
Shane,
at.
tell us about
what
your
you're
10
doing.
ball break. I want to see this. I want to see everything you got to say about this. Yes, sir.
Well, there's not much to it. Everybody knows.
Now, don't sit there and downplay it. You ain't dancing around the question again. You know, just because I'm your opponent this week.
Well, here, I'll put them up here. And you...
And then, Johnny, I'd like you to do the same thing.
Sure.
'Cause
Except I might not tell the truth. Yeah, maybe I want him to break like me.
right.
If I can get you to break like me, I got a chance.
They look frozen to me, and they actually fell right in spot, too.
So what do people want to know?
Just tell me what,
They just want
tell
you
me
to go
what
through
you're
what
looking at
are you looking to do.
when you're breaking. What are you trying to accomplish?
Yeah, before you hit them, are you trying to make the balls behind
Well,
the line?
mainly, I already know what the table is. I know how the table goes a little bit. So a lot of times I'm just trying to focus on the one ball
Okay.
and try to get where I want it to go.
Okay.
I'm trying to get it here or up here. There's a big difference.
Okay. Now, how do you determine speed on the break? How do you determine how hard you're going to hit it?
That's the biggest thing when I'm doing before I break the balls.
And do you start at the same place every time on a new table, or how do you determine it? How do you adjust, I guess, is my question.
Well, depending on how the table rolls. If the table's rolling fast and I gotta somehow break easy, and that's what I'm thinking. You know, I'm trying to figure out.
Well, you got to get a baseline, a starting point.
Always go in and break a little bit. I always like to break and just get feedback from the table. Like I said, I want feedback after, then I can adjust from there.
Yeah.
Well, okay, break this rack, and we'll see what happens. And then, now you're trying to squat the cue ball between the side pockets, right?
Yeah, mainly I'm gonna get the one.
Okay.
Try to make it.
So you don't give any thought to the 4, 6, 8, or 9, or the 5, because the 5
You're not
goes
worried.
forward, just
So
nothing.
the ball's in the side pocket, supposed
Mainly.
to go, right?
That's what I look at. It's just the balls in the side pockets and 8 and 9 in the corners.
Okay. And then you want the one down by the corner.
So. Broke that.
You got to be kidding me. I got to deal with this for 3 days. Hopefully 3 days.
Okay. So what happened? You lost the
4 and
cue ball
6.
there. Yeah.
Were
The
they both on the sides?
two in the sides.
You know-
So you lost the cue ball a little bit there.
Yeah, I
so
think they didn't
so
wait.
why did the
Right.
cue ball get loose? Did you
Yeah,
miss,
that's right.
hit the, miss hit the
I
one?
I haven't played pool
First
for a couple
break,
days.
first break. You know, it'll take 4 or 5 breaks, and he'll be right back in there.
I tell you, and you may not even remember this, but when you played Corey the first time, you know the 5 ball was the second ball in from the corner. He was also making that up one rail.
One
in
rail.
the corner. And
One
you don't
rail,
See
that
that
one-
often that much anymore, but it's it was mind blowing.
Okay. Now, one more thing, Shane. Can you break them for us one more time? When your timing, when you raise, do you raise up? How do you transfer your weight when you break?
I've been trying to do something different.
Why would you do something
Why
different,
would you
Tiger
do
Woods?
something different?
I,
I want to hear this one now.
I've been trying to go back and see how I was breaking in 2007 compared to now. I think there's a big difference between the two. So I don't think I'm breaking good as I was breaking before.
Because before, you really used to raise up.
Well, he was standing into the
I
shot.
don't know. I mean, I haven't seen any videos of me.
Well,
Trust me.
You got him.
Yeah, I've got them. No, you
know,
really used
I want
to
to see
stand
the
up.
videos of me and Corey
Yeah,
and the videos of me now.
yeah.
So.
Well,
No,
I was
you-
mentioning yesterday, I thought that you were struggling a little bit. I remember I mentioned that.
Yeah.
And I think you're acknowledging that, but you used to, when you were breaking, you were just standing up. You were
Yeah.
not powering it. You were moving
Yeah, it was
your
so
whole body.
smooth. It was like your whole body, but yet
But it was perfect
you hit the
timing.
balls harder than people thought you did. It didn't look like you were hitting them very hard.
Right.
But when the cue ball hit the rack, it was just bang. So,
I feel like I'm missing something.
well, go ahead,
right
break
now.
the balls and we'll get a look
One
at.
more.
I'm just going to focus on. Okay, here, let me get there.
Now you hit a little off center.
He let up on them a little bit.
But his standard break, it looks like he's letting up on it. That's the
That
amazing
the
thing.
timing looked off on that one. It looked like
Yeah,
he got
that one
slower.
there wasn't as hard as the first one, even though he mishit the first one more than that one. So that one was
He
more
hit
of
the
a.
cue ball better on this one. The
His
first one,
cue
he had all
ball, he
that
hit the
high
cue ball
angle
much
shape.
better on
Yeah,
this one. Yeah,
I didn't try to hit it hard.
he had tried to. He let up here. He let up. You know,
Which is a
15-20%.
But that's a lesson to the amateurs.
All right, Shane,
You
quit
don't
fooling
have to
around. Break
count.
the ball.
That's
Come on.
absolutely right.
Control is
Give me
more
the
important
Shane
than
break.
speed.
All right,
One
this time I'm not going to try to hit it hard.
Just give me a Shane break.
I'm going to try to control
Ball on
it.
the side, cue ball between the side pockets, one by the corner,
And it used to pop back.
and then turn around and look, give a goofy smile.
Yeah,
There.
He said there.
See?
Yep.
what I was trying to
Whoa. See, I told you.
What'd you make, 3 balls or 4?
You're a real funny guy, ain't you, Shane? That's real funny, ain't it? Everything's funny when you got that break like that, don't it?
It only take me a couple tries.
Ronnie Wise would say everything's funny when you win in big money.
Yep. All right, Shane.
What
Or,
is
I'm
this
sorry.
saying? It's no fun when the rabbit's got the gun.
Ain't no fun.
Yeah,
when,
that's right.
Ain't no fun when
Yes,
Bunny's got the
Tony
gun.
Allen used to say that. He says, "No fun when your rabbit's got the gun." I was like, "No, it's not." No.
All right, what are you looking for on the break?
I
How
probably
you
the
set up?
same. They're probably the same kind of what he does. You know, I'm gonna break where he does because I'm gonna see if I can do half what he does. But main thing, if you'll notice what he does, his technique is so good because if you'll watch his cue is straight through like this. Now I'm always kind of up here like this, but he's doing kind of the
Or
same.
you were used to go.
You know, I used to go kind of like this,
Yeah,
but if you'll
that's-
notice, I try to, you know, and that's not something that's something you're really born with. It's hard to get the cue going straight like that, you know, if you're not already kind of got some natural talent. So he's got such a great technique when he breaks because his cue stick goes straight this way. So if your cue stick goes straight, it's hard to get
Well,
the
it's
cue
supposed to
ball
go
off line. That's what it's supposed to do. So,
Yeah, if it doesn't
you
go
know,
straight, you're doing something.
so
wrong.
what he does, if you'll notice, he aims low on the cue ball, but comes up. If you'll actually watch where he hits the ball, he hits it probably about 2 or 3 tips above bottom, if you'll notice. Because if he hit right here, he'd draw the cue ball all over the place. Because he's aiming, his actually tip is probably on the table, close to it when he's actually addressing the ball. So he comes up, and as he gotten older, he's allowed for the way his stroke does. I always aimed high. I was the opposite. I would aim high, but then when I knew my
Really?
tip always came down.
I've never.
So I always
The
did that.
Filipinos aim low.
They aim low, and actually, I
But
watched
then
him.
when they hit it, it's just right
When they
below
hit it,
center.
they actually just below center.
You want to know one of the reasons why people aim low, though? You probably do know, but it's reflection. You get a reflection off the ball, and if you're aiming low, the reflection's in line. If you're even off a tweak, it's magnified because you're
Right.
dealing with an orbit round ball. And make sure you're hitting it dead center. It really
Yeah,
is amazing.
really where you want to hit the cue ball when you strike it is probably center or just a little below. That's really
tweak
where
below.
you want to ultimately hit it at. So what I always did, you know, so many for 20 years, I would aim high on the cue ball because when I came, my tip would come down. I would eventually hit it in the center. And so that would create kind of the same thing, same effect that his ball would pop back and kind of have a little bit of forward motion that it might come back and just stop because the motion would get it and it just kind of grab like a golf ball, you know, when you're hitting a green. So,
Let's whack it. See what
you know,
happens.
mine was saying I ain't even nowhere close to probably what he does, but kind of the same, you know,
One down the corner, 7 in the side.
Yes, I'm Shane. Boy, I tell you what, you in trouble if I'm doing. No, I'm just kidding. We'll have a shootout anyway. But really, we just kind of go about it a little different way, but we're wanting the same thing, the same result. His is the same. You know, I try to get my stroke, and the older I've gotten, my stroke ain't quite as straight as it was going through like it used to be, but. You know, really, I'm trying to get it out here with a follow through. And if you'll watch it when he finishes, his is the same way. Maybe it ain't like this, but if you'll notice, his is kind of down like this. So it's the same type thing. He's trying to do the same as myself, and try to
It's
get
all,
the
it's
same
all
type
natural
result.
feel of how much
I'll do that one
you
more
put
time. I
into
like
it.
that one. Rack him one more time. That felt good.
I've been working on this for 6 months, I bet.
I tell you what I did. For 2 weeks, I decided that I said, I'm going to come play Shane. I said, I have to figure out how to break close to what he does, so I got to pick up a little bit of speed. His speed's about a couple miles an hour better than mine.
What is your speed? What do you think?
We both, when I got on a gun one day, our average is probably about 24. Not very much, really. But it's we would average somewhere from 23.5 to 25. Our consistent-wise was the same.
That's a real good speed for break. I'm
That's
surprised
a very,
it's that high.
Yeah, our average, I think, when we were
Shane,
doing
I don't know about Johnny, but I've seen Shane play a whole lot, and I know he hits the balls a lot harder than what it looks
Yeah.
like. I mean,
yeah,
it doesn't
where
look
were
like,
we at when we had the gun? We had the gun somewhere. We were all
Guns
messing
are a
around.
little
Yeah, they
suspect.
are.
They're
They probably
suspect.
suspect. But I was just looking because we were all doing the same, so we can
Sure.
we can gauge a little bit from,
But
what
if
we're
it's
doing.
suspect, it's going to be consistently suspect. So
Sure.
once you get you
Right.
get an average.
And him and I were probably, as far as speed wise, at the time he was a little more. He was definitely a mile an hour average, a mile and a half, definitely more harder
but
than me.
I mean,
So
it seems to me that at this point, I remember for a time that was a thing where who was the hardest breaker and who hit the balls the
Doesn't mean anything,
biggest.
does
no, it's
and-
consistent. Well, you have to break the ball
Accuracy,
nice and solid,
yeah.
accuracy, and who can do it every time.
Right.
Or not every time, but
Yeah.
for the most part. And what's the main thing? If you're breaking, these come into play.
Mm-hmm.
These are wide.
Yeah.
I could tell you that from experience at wrong times. So if you'll watch Shane's break, I always thought, okay, well, I get the balls back and I want to stop it in the center. That was what I concentrated on. I worked on for many years, and I got pretty good at one time. But if you'll watch Shane's ball comes about right here. So what it does, it takes a lot of the
Getting kicked in the
Right,
side.
so-
Or,
well, it takes a lot of, remember, if you miss-hit the cue ball
Yeah.
or miss-hit the rack,
you're going
this
there.
comes into play
Sure.
much harder. But if his cue ball, if he's got speed and miss-hit, and it comes here, it's
Yeah.
much harder to go in the side.
Yeah.
Because now all of a sudden it's got to go from here to go in instead of just here and goes flat over here. So it cuts down about half the distance on the side pockets, and I mean that takes out scratches. That you can miss-hit the balls and still get a shot, So, his break is what you want. That's no. See, that's what I want right there. If I'm gonna miss-hit it, I want to miss-hit it to right here.
And see, that time you reamed 3 pockets.
Right.
Yeah, it's
But
just,
if I miss-hit the ball, I want to miss-hit it where
No,
my
the 5
speed is
goes
here,
on a
because then
regular
you
table,
notice that
for
the cue
certain.
ball come here. Usually it would go in the side, used to, but I'm actually, I will probably be breaking with a little bit aiming lower, because I'm trying to get the ball back like him, and by me doing that, it gained me about I was measuring it at home, and it gained me about a couple miles an hour.
Really?
By aiming the ball lower, I don't know.
Just
Maybe
the
it-
mechanics, yeah.
Just the mechanics and maybe the way I was hitting the cue ball. And it could be that if I was aiming high, maybe I was hitting it right here and I wasn't getting quite full tip on the ball. So by aiming a little lower, it started getting my cue ball. Now here I'm be getting my cue ball more back here from right here, taking out the side. And actually it'd probably be a little bit harder. See, now it's a little bit harder. So
Whoa.
that's the way I'll be breaking, trying
3
to.
balls on the break again.
But I mean,
like we talked about with
I'm
the
trying to take out
difference
this
between 9 and
scratch
10 ball?
mainly, because you can't always hit them solid. So by aiming lower, it's popping the ball back to right here.
It's
for me.
still real hard to hit that 1 ball dead nut square.
You can't.
It comes back, and it's on that one. It came
Yeah,
into the rail.
sure.
Without, and it just 10 ball didn't move. I tell you, I mean, a plug for the Magic Rack. I mean, that thing is just it solves so many breaking problems or racking
Sure.
problems.
Well, the
You know,
thing.
it creates some too.
Sure.
But it freezes the ball.
Well, here you need the Magic Rack because the table's so tough that here you want it,
Yeah.
because guys, you don't want it to make the game where it's almost unplayable. And if you've got a tough rack where balls just ain't never going, it's almost making it unplayable. But on big wide pocket tables, the Magic Rack, I think, should be changed up or down a little bit to stop them balls, because everybody's making 2 or 3 balls, and the pockets are like this. Makes the
money
game
ball,
too easy
put
from
the
there.
9 on the spot. And I nobody's ever tried putting the 10 on the spot. I wonder what would happen.
I tried it one time, and don't think I really liked what it was doing at the time. But
What it does is, when you have the standard rack, it just puts people to sleep. When you get these people, they're just getting so...
yeah, it's too long.
Man,
That's
it's
why.
terrible. Terrible.
That's why the Magic Rack's a great thing. But if the table, we should have some kind of standard where if the table's a certain size, make it to where you don't want to make it where there's guaranteed balls. Here you can actually get away with because the table's so tough. Even if you make guaranteed balls, the odds of getting out is not.
I'm curious what happened.
It's not great.
What are you curious about, Shane?
He's going to put the 10 on the spot, I'll bet you.
I want to see what happens. About the 10 on the spot.
It sure changed 9-ball. I mean, when Shane and Earl played, but they've had to break from the box, I don't think... They weren't making a ball 10% of the time.
Yeah, it was tough.
It was unbelievable.
I will say one thing: the Moscone Cup, when they changed that rule and made it to that, I think
That's why
we
lose.
Well, but
no,
I'm not disagreeing with him, but I will say it made the game much better.
Well, they play.
It made the game much better.
That's how they rack them on the Euro Tour. That's how all their tournaments are played. So they have a huge advantage.
If we played like that and we racked the balls like that, where our guys could break like that, more consistent.
You have to practice that.
Sure,
You have to.
Exactly right.
Because you're not going to get there if you don't.
Oh, it's.
I'll never make a ball.
But see how you raised up on that ball?
Well, he didn't try to hit them. He actually was.
Yeah, but the way he raised up and the timing
hit him like you mean it. Come on.
Yeah. The timing is what
No,
looked right
you
on
didn't.
that.
You wimped them. Don't lie.
I got
you
the
wimped
10
the
on the
damn
spot.
balls. You damn scared to death or something. Hit the balls like you're supposed to, like we know you can.
What'd you do in L.A., man? You're not feeling good? You're not getting any rest? What happened, buddy?
I just needed to get away from pool.
So you just went over there seeing a friend?
Went to a pool hall. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you need to get away from pool so you go to Jay Halford's house and play
know-
Dennis or Colo.
Do you know this right here? This is the one thing I could say about Shane. Shane is the only gay pool player we have. Plays on tour in the top 5. The only one.
That's impossible.
Shaney Poo, when you get away with stuff. Oh man, I'm glad we can have fun. I had Wade Crane say that about me.
His cue ball touch.
Yeah, he moved it a little over this way. See, now that's more of a break.
You'll never make a ball.
That's not true.
You'll never make a ball.
Well, you have to know.
Yeah, here you couldn't rack like it. Just make the game too tough. There'd be too many. The game instead of that 5.5 hours you're looking more like 7, probably if you did that.
And 5.5 to 6 hours is the maximum that we can keep people.
I'm
We
thinking-
actually had to debate internally of going
to
to
21.
25 is a tweak too long.
I think 21 would be better.
See,
I agree, 100%. I think it would be better.
And then we could do a win by 2. 21 win by 2.
Absolutely.
To
I think the 5.5, 6 hours is a little
It's
much
just a little
to keep.
brutal.
Just keep
and on
everybody.
the spectators as well as you guys.
Absolutely. Well, he's
Yeah,
What is
okay.
this
The
rail
one
break
inside.
you got?
Where's the cut break?
Shane's going to spend 8 hours a day practicing a break from the 10 ball on the spot just to see what happens.
I'm working on
That'll
this.
change the game.
I'm working on this rule. If I get it my way, I'm going to have it like this. You better go ahead and start working on this a lot.
I'll be breaking from a side rail.
I'm just kidding,
Listen,
man.
it's
No,
hour and 15
I'm just
minutes.
Yeah,
kidding.
time to wrap it up.
We've had fun. This has been fun.
Well, no, this has been educational for everybody. I bet you this gets a lot of people watching it. And if you're watching these podcasts, tell your friends about it. Put it on your Facebook. Let's get some mileage out of this thing. And
Sure.
because we're trying to do something for pool. This King of the Hill, I say think boxing. He says think UFC, but
Right.
same concept. And
Sure.
we're trying to change the way pool players. I mean, you guys
Sure.
all you can make some money here
Yeah.
without bringing a backer in, without any hard feelings. Just shoot, play
Well,
pool.
need to leave in here to him and I.
Yeah.
Don't bring. I don't think the more people you bring involved, sponsors, promoters. But when you start bringing other people involved, too many things get mishandled.
Yeah, with backers.
Yeah,
and
no,
all
no.
that.
I mean, it's no, and some are different, some are others. But I'd like to say thanks for having me here.
Oh no, I'm glad you
I
guys
appreciate
finally
it.
got it together.
Thank you. We're
Yeah,
gonna.
for sure.
I know we're having fun tonight, but when the bell comes on, we won't be each other's fan at the
You're
time.
not
I can
supposed
tell
to
you.
be.
But
Anyhow,
thanks to all my
first-
sponsors, Scorpion and Yalen Tables and Bonus Ball, and definitely thanks to CSI.
Yeah,
Thank you so much for having us on. This is a great thing.
Shane, you want to say anything?
Thank you for everybody watching.
A man of many words.
Thank you for Johnny to come out here and play.
No.
I think it'll be a fun weekend.
It's going to be a good match.
Do we ever get a
thanks
prediction?
thanks for having somebody
Oh,
as
yeah,
as a sparring partner that you can just beat up on. Is that what you're happy
No,
about?
you beat me in a tournament. It's not going to be easy.
That's true. We said 9-2 or 9-3.
Yeah, you beat me 9-2.
Just remember, it ain't gonna be easy as everybody thinks.
All
It's
right,
going to be
guys.
interesting. Starts tomorrow
It'll be
at 4
fun.
o'clock Pacific time, 7 o'clock Eastern,
Yep. And the winner back next Friday.
Yep.
That's right.
Shot at Bustamante.
which is, both you guys say, is the toughest guy you've played.
Ain't even.
You know,
Yep, that's exactly
That's
right.
kind of a
That's
odd
great.
little situation.
Sure.
Well, the action report,
Yep.
just go to theactionreport.com and you'll have everything up tonight for paying and all that kind of stuff.
It's been up. It's up now.
You know, okay. All right,
All right,
thanks a lot.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, OBQs.
Yep.
Thanks,
Kamui.
Simone's. Thanks, CSI. And thanks to Kamui. Good night.